Sometimes the most powerful move you will ever make in your life is the one nobody sees coming. The strongest decisions aren't always loud. They don't need a crowd. They don't need applause. They happen inside you quietly, like a seed breaking open under the soil. You don't have to tell people what you're changing, what you're cutting off, or what you're healing from. Just remove it without telling anyone. Growth does not require an audience. Progress does not need permission. Not everything in life needs to be announced. So many people walk around thinking that every decision they make, every change they implement, and every boundary they set has to be visible to everyone else. That is not the case. The most powerful transformations in life happen quietly, away from the eyes of others. Growth is not about showing off what you are capable of. It is about becoming stronger, wiser, and more focused without needing approval. When you understand this, you start to see that silence is a tool, not a weakness. It is the place where you build your resilience, your clarity, and your strength without distraction. When you remove something from your life without telling anyone, it allows you to control the energy around you and decide what matters most to you. You stop seeking validation and begin seeking results. You stop performing for others and start performing for yourself. Quiet actions carry more power than loud announcements. You don't need to explain why you are leaving a toxic friendship, ending a habit, letting go of a situation that no longer serves you. By keeping it private, you protect yourself from unnecessary criticism, judgment, or attempts to manipulate your decision. People rarely understand the depth of your struggle or the reasoning behind your choices, and that's okay. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth or justify your growth. The moment you remove the need for public recognition, you gain freedom. You gain the ability to act purely for your own well-being. This is especially important when it comes to negative influences. Toxic relationships, draining behaviors, or situations that pull you backward demand action, not explanations. If you spend time explaining why you are moving on, you give energy to people who don't have your best interest at heart. You invite debate and conflict when all you really need is peace. Removing something quietly allows you to preserve your energy, focus, and mental clarity. It allows you to step into a new chapter without carrying the baggage of external opinions. Sometimes, the things you release are not even tangible. They could be habits, thoughts, or limiting beliefs. These internal removals can be even more significant than external changes. By quietly letting go of fear, doubt, and insecurity, you create space for growth that cannot be interrupted by others. You allow yourself to evolve on your own terms, setting higher standards for your life without feeling the pressure of outside judgment. Steve Harvey often emphasizes that real success and real change are rarely broadcasted, they are lived. The quiet victories, the unseen efforts, and the silent transformations are the ones that last. They are the ones that shape who you truly are and who you are becoming. Every time you choose to remove something without telling anyone, you are claiming control over your life. You are saying that your peace, your growth, and your focus are more important than approval or recognition. You are choosing strength over spectacle, substance over show, and action over announcement. That is where true power begins. Silence protects your peace more than explanations ever will. Too often, people feel compelled to justify their actions, to tell the world why they are making changes, to defend the decisions that are meant to protect their well-being. But in reality, explaining yourself rarely brings peace. It usually invites more questions, more opinions, and more judgment. Every time you feel the urge to explain why you are walking away from a situation, remind yourself that your peace is worth more than anyone's understanding. When you protect your inner calm, you are making a choice to prioritize yourself over the noise of the world. Life will constantly test you with people who don't understand your boundaries, who don't respect your decisions, who try to pull you back into chaos. If you allow yourself to get caught up in explaining, you give away your power. Silence, on the other hand, is a shield. It keeps your energy intact, it prevents unnecessary conflict, and it allows you to focus on what truly matters. Steve Harvey teaches that the strongest people often make the quietest moves. They don't announce every step they take, every challenge they overcome, every change they implement. They simply act. They remove toxic influences, they eliminate distractions, and they create better environments for themselves without ever feeling the need to broadcast it. Silence is not weakness. It is discipline. It is strength, and it is protection. By not explaining, you also prevent others from attempting to manipulate your choices. People know your reasoning. They may try to argue guilt or convince you to change your mind. But when you act quietly, you maintain control. You make decisions purely for your growth, not to appease others or to gain approval. Protecting your peace also means understanding that not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. You don't need validation for your choices. You only need alignment with yourself. The less you talk about what you are doing, the more energy you save, the more clarity you gain, and the more focus you maintain on the life you are building. You allow yourself the space to grow without distraction, rise without resistance, and to heal without interference. Peace is fragile, and once it is disturbed by unnecessary explanations, it takes time and effort to rebuild. By choosing silence, you respect your own journey and honor your own boundaries. You remove the noise that can cloud judgment and drain your energy. Life will notice your quiet strength. People will see your results before they see your reasons, and that is how true influence works. Protecting your peace through silence is one of the most powerful moves you can ever make. It is a lesson in self-respect, a practice in focus, and a pathway to lasting personal power. The less you explain, the more freedom you create. Private change creates real transformation. So many people spend their lives trying to show the world how much they are growing, how hard they are working, or how determined they are to succeed. Real change doesn't need an audience. Transformation happens when you do the work in secret, when no one is watching, when you are accountable only to yourself. Steve Harvey often points out that those who achieve greatness aren't the ones posting every step on social media or announcing every decision. They are the ones quietly grinding, quietly learning, quietly evolving. When you focus on private change, you eliminate distractions, reduce unnecessary pressure, and allow yourself to fully commit to the process without interference from outside opinions. Public validation can be tempting, but it is fleeting. It may make you feel good temporarily, but it does not build the kind of resilience and strength that true transformation requires. When you remove something from your life quietly, whether it's a toxic relationship, a negative habit, or a limiting belief, you give yourself the space to grow authentically. You aren't acting for applause or recognition. You are acting for results. Real change comes from consistent, intentional actions taken over time, not from dramatic announcements or declarations. By keeping your transformation private, you also protect yourself from those who may try to discourage you. Some people cannot handle your growth. They feel threatened by it, they doubt it, or they try to undermine it. When your progress is quiet, there is less opportunity for negativity to affect you. You maintain control over your journey and preserve your mental and emotional energy. Private change allows you to experiment, to fail, and to learn without embarrassment or judgment. It gives you the freedom to make mistakes and adjust your approach until you get it right. Transformation is rarely a straight line. It takes trial and error, reflection, and sometimes painful adjustments. Doing this in private means you are not weighed down by external pressure to perform or to meet someone else's expectations. Over time, private change becomes visible in your life through your results. People will notice the confidence, the focus, the discipline, and the progress you have made, but it will not require you to announce it. Your life becomes proof of your efforts without you having to say a word. This is how you create lasting impact. By working quietly, you cultivate inner strength, self-reliance, and authenticity. You learn that your worth and your growth are not dependent on anyone else's recognition or approval. True transformation is built on consistency, dedication, and the willingness to do the hard work behind the scenes. Private change is powerful because it is intentional, it is honest, and it is free from external noise. When you embrace the practice of evolving quietly, you set yourself apart from those who are only concerned with appearances. You build a foundation for lasting success, a character that cannot be shaken, and a life that speaks for itself. The results of private change are deeper, stronger, and more enduring than anything achieved for show. Let actions speak louder than your words. Too often, people believe that telling the world what they plan to do, what they hope to achieve, or what changes they are making is the way to show their commitment. But words without action are empty, and announcements without follow-through rarely lead to real results. Steve Harvey often emphasizes that the people who truly succeed in life are not the ones who talk the loudest. They are the ones who quietly take the steps that lead to growth, change, and progress. Actions have weight, they create impact, and they produce results that words alone cannot. When you remove something from your life without telling anyone, when you make a difficult decision quietly, the action itself is far more powerful than any explanation you could offer. Words can be forgotten, misinterpreted, or dismissed. Actions leave a mark. If you want to change your life, the first step is to stop talking about it and start living it. People will notice the difference in your energy, in your attitude, and in the way you carry yourself. You don't have to justify why you are walking away from negativity, why you are ending a habit, why you are stepping into a better version of yourself. The results will speak for themselves. When you focus on action rather than explanation, you also protect yourself from unnecessary interference. Not everyone will understand your choices, and some people will try to challenge, manipulate, question your decisions. By taking action silently, you maintain control over your life and your boundaries. You prevent distractions and protect your mental and emotional energy. Real power comes from doing what is necessary for your growth without seeking validation from others. Every time you act without announcing it, you are demonstrating self-discipline, focus, and maturity. Actions are a reflection of your priorities, your commitment, and your character. They reveal who you are more accurately than any words could. You might be letting go of people, habits, or situations that no longer serve you. You might be building new routines, developing new skills, or pursuing opportunities that align with your purpose. You don't need to explain your choices, defend your decisions, or seek approval for your moves. Quiet action allows you to work at your own pace, make adjustments when necessary, and focus on the results that matter most. Over time, the impact of your actions becomes visible to everyone around you. Your life transforms because of the consistency of your efforts, the courage of your decisions, and the integrity of your moves. People will notice the growth, the change, and the strength in your character, and they will respect it without you having to say a word. Removing distractions, ending toxic patterns, and elevating yourself quietly shows true leadership and self-awareness. When you let your actions speak, you create credibility, trust, and influence naturally. You no longer need to rely on explanations, justifications, or announcements to prove your value. Those who observe will see the difference, those who matter will appreciate it, and those who doubt will eventually have no choice but to acknowledge your progress. Living through action, rather than words, is a hallmark of real success. It demonstrates confidence, courage, and intentionality. Quiet action is transformational because it builds results while protecting your peace, focuses your energy while reducing drama, and allows your life to speak for you in ways that words never could. The path to true elevation is paved with silent decisions, unseen effort, and consistent action. When you focus on what you do rather than what you say, you create a life that inspires, influences, and transforms quietly but powerfully. Let go of negativity without justifying it. So many people hold on to toxic situations, relationships, habits because they feel the need to explain themselves to others. They worry about how people will perceive their decisions, or they feel guilty for choosing themselves over someone else. Steve Harvey often reminds us that you don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. The truth is, the moment you start justifying your choices, you give away your power. You allow others to influence your decisions, to question your judgment, to pull you back into the very situations you are trying to leave behind. True strength comes from removing negativity quietly and firmly without seeking approval or understanding from anyone else. Negativity comes in many forms: critical people who drain your energy, bad habits that hold you back, limiting beliefs that stop you from pursuing your dreams, and environments that no longer serve your purpose. Letting go of these things is essential for growth, but it doesn't require an announcement or justification. The act of removal itself is enough. When you stop explaining your decisions, you also stop inviting unnecessary conflict. People may not understand why you are stepping away from something, and some may even try to convince you to stay. But when you let go without explaining, you maintain control over your life and your energy. You create space for focus, clarity, and positive growth. Steve Harvey often emphasizes that real winners do not spend their time justifying themselves. They spend it building themselves. The more time you spend explaining why you are removing negativity, the less time you spend actually improving your life. When you choose to release what no longer serves you quietly, you are prioritizing action over words. You are choosing results over approval. This is how you protect your peace and nurture your personal growth. Negative influences, if left unchecked, can slow your progress, drain your energy, and cloud your judgment. By letting them go without explanation, you free yourself from these burdens. You stop carrying around emotional baggage that weighs you down and prevents you from achieving your true potential. Letting go quietly also strengthens your self-discipline and self-respect. It shows that you are committed to your well-being, that you value your time, and that you understand your worth. You don't need validation from anyone to make positive changes in your life. You act for yourself, not for an audience. Over time, the benefits of removing negativity without justification become clear. Your energy becomes sharper, your focus becomes clearer, and your life begins to align more with your purpose. People will notice the difference in your demeanor, your confidence, and your results, even if you never explain your choices. Your peace and progress speak louder than any words ever could. Life has a way of rewarding those who act with integrity and intentionality without broadcasting their every move. Letting go of negativity quietly allows you to move forward without the weight of judgment or misunderstanding. You create an environment that fosters growth, positivity, and success. You demonstrate maturity, self-awareness, and strength. This is the kind of inner power that cannot be shaken by gossip, criticism, or external pressure. When you master the art of removing negativity without justification, you reclaim your life, protect your peace, and make room for blessings that are aligned with your highest good. You prove to yourself that your happiness, growth, purpose matter more